Hi, welcome to MCS, where we want you to be awesome coordinators, whether that's a support coordinator for a participant or coordinators of your own plan. And today we're going to be talking about provider registrations in PACE portals of a participant record, whether they're important or not, and how a participant can use these registrations to empower their choice and control. So the first thing to understand about these registrations is that they're only relevant for funding which is agency managed. So if you have providers who are drawing from plan managed funding, this is not relevant to those providers. They get paid in the usual way through the plan manager. The plan manager, however, is usually agency managed, so you'll need to consider whether that plan manager needs to be registered as a My Provider in the portal as well, which the answer is usually yes. So the most important thing to understand about provider registrations in a PACE portal is that it doesn't matter whether provider is registered as a My Provider or not within a participant portal. They're still going to get paid if they're drawing from agency managed funding. So the process is that if an invoice is sent to the NDIA through the usual bulk upload process that a provider goes through, that is drawing funding from NDIA managed funding, that invoice will be picked up by the NDIA, and if that provider has a My Provider status on that participant portal, then they will get paid automatically, usually overnight. If not, then that invoice does not get paid until either the participant approves it through a text that the NDIA sends the participant, or if the participant doesn't respond within 7 days. The NDIA will then pay that invoice unless they have any concerns or queries about that invoice. So, effectively, you don't need a provider status of a My Provider in a participant portal to be paid. So, why do we have this? So, as a participant, it gives the participant choice. It gives them the opportunity to decide when and if a provider is registered as a My Provider to automatically get their invoices paid. So a participant can delay that registration as a My Provider if they would like to trial and view those invoices initially and maybe query some and get a few questions out the way before they then register that provider as a My Provider for automatic invoices. So that could be one way that the participant really gains a lot of control over how their funding is being used by that provider. It could also be used by a participant when a provider actually only needs to put in 1 or 2 invoices. It could be a provider such as high cost assistive technology, or a provider that's just coming in to do, say, a once-off clean for a participant. That provider does not need to have ongoing invoices automatically paid. So that participant can choose to not approve or not register that provider as a My Provider. So it really does give that participant that empowerment and that choice and that control to be able to ensure that the invoices that they are coming through their PACE portal, they're happy with, that the providers that they are approving as My Providers into their participant portal are ones that they are confident with. So that's the main difference, and that's why it's important, and that's why some providers may never be registered in the PACE portal as My Providers. Now, why would support coordinators be My Providers then if they're just going to get paid anyways? So support coordinators are a little bit different in terms of their registration into PACE. So their My Provider status usually comes along with a request for service. So as soon as they have a request for service, they're able then to also they're also have a My Provider status. They usually also have to have a support coordination status as well in the plan, in the portal. But as soon as that request for service or their registration into the participant portal is acquired, it means that that support coordinator is able to follow the NDIA guidelines of uploading implementation reports and progress reports into the provider portal. So if they didn't have that request for service and that registration as a provider, they wouldn't be able to know when those reports are due. Now, it doesn't interfere with any of the payments to the support coordinator. That support coordinator will still get paid irrespective of whether they have a request for service or not. It just does not allow the support coordinator to upload progress reports and implementation reports into the portal and know when those ones are due, because there can be some differing times when those reports are due. It can be monthly, it can be 3 monthly, it can just be at the end of the plan. So just as a recap, My Provider status only needs to be for providers, if at all, for agency managed funding, and the purpose of the My Provider status is to give participants that control around whether they really want providers to be automatically paid from their NDIS plan when they are drawing from agency managed funding. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and it was really useful to you. If you did like the video and the content, please press follow or subscribe to us if you're on YouTube. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.